بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Today we are going to cover the topic of blueprinting, and before we actually go into the details of that, we need to review a few things relevant to blueprinting. Then we will define what a blueprint is, and then the justification, why do we do blueprinting, and then the process, how to prepare a blueprint. We will first start by asking a few questions about issues related to blueprinting. For example, what are the assessment instruments or tools, and what are the qualities or features or characteristics of a good instrument? First, what are the instruments? And what are the instruments used for the various aspects of assessment? As you know, assessment, there is assessment of achievement, and this is assessment of knowledge, يسمى اختبارات التحصيل. And then there is assessment of performance, which is assessment of skills, يسمى اختبارات القدرات أو تقييم القدرات. وأخيرا وليس يعني أقل أهمية، لا يختلف الأهمية عن السابقين، assessment of professionalism أو assessing attitudes أو اختبارات المهنية. Now, there are tools used for each of them. Assessment of knowledge, skills, and attitudes, all of them during activities. And then there is assignments. There are written tests like the MCQs, the short answer questions, and the essays. We have spotter exams, also assessing knowledge. And there are workplace-based assessment tools used for the assessment of workplace-based activities and assessment activities. And like the mini CEX, the DOPS, the CPD, which is a case-based discussion, the logbook and portfolio as tools for the collection of data. And there is, for the practical skills, we have the OSPI and the OSCE. Now, these are the tools. When do I say this tool is a good one or an excellent one? What are the qualities of good assessment tools? As you know, we reviewed them before. There are validity, which is the ability to check for fitness for purpose, and also that the tool actually measures what it is supposed to measure, whatever that means. Maybe we are talking about the content. Does it measure content satisfactorily? Maybe we are talking about constructs. Is it measuring constructs satisfactorily? And so we have different types of validity. We have reliability, which is consistency or repeatability or reproducibility. And then we have objectivity, we have educational impact, and we have feasibility. Now, also fairness is a very important aspect, especially in relation to the qualities of good assessment tools. Especially we will talk about blueprinting, and it is relevant to that. This is just an introduction, a review of important issues related to blueprint. Now, what is a blueprint? A blueprint, historically and linguistically, this is a blueprint. In the past, maps were drawn into a paper and then they are dipped into ink, and this is how they look like after they are produced. And then they call them a blueprint, which is a map of what to be. So, in medical education, however, it's a map for assessment. And the educational unit can have a blueprint for the educational unit, and you can have for each test a blueprint. So we have two types in medical education or health professions education. Now, why? Why do we blueprint? Why do we produce blueprints? What is the rationale? What is the justification? Now, you want to explicitly align assessment process with desired learning outcomes. In terms of what? In terms of what will be assessed, and this is called content validity or face validity. Face validity. On the face of it, does it look like as if it is actually measuring what it is supposed to measure? Is it fit for purpose? And how it will be assessed also, This will be put in the blueprint. How? Which tools? And this is to ensure an appropriate range of objectives, content, and weighting are addressed when devising specific assessment instruments. And this also allows sharing and communication with others. If you are asked, what do you cover in your assessment, you just give them the blueprint and it tells them all there is. It also provides the basis for consistency over time. If you are producing assessment activities without a blueprint, variability might occur. To ensure consistency, you need to produce a blueprint. Now, also, to ensure fitness for purpose, therefore, to ensure appropriateness and balance, the tool is balanced. What do we mean by balance? The balance of the instruments, their pros and cons. This is called the balance of an instrument. We use a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We use MCQs, but also short answers, but also essays, objective practical exams, subjective to some extent practical examinations, etc. So you need to have a balance of instruments, you taking into consideration their pros and cons. But there is a balance in the instrument, and this is ensured through the test blueprint. When you produce a test blueprint, you ensure that the test will be balanced. Now, ensuring fitness for purpose, choosing the instrument which is fit for purpose, and this is called phase validity. Phase validity. The other one is ensuring balance of the instrument, and balance of the instrument means choosing the appropriate and balanced content, and this is called content validity. And in relation to that, let me just go through this illustration. Of course, we have objectives, and we have teaching, and we have assessment. Sometimes they are mal-aligned. They are mal-aligned, and there is some teaching done which is not related to any objective, and it's also not assessed. This is waste of time of the students. Why are we teaching them issues which are not part of their objectives, are not part of their assessment? Sometimes we have objectives, we do the teaching, and because we do not have blueprinting, we miss assessment, and this is another problem. We don't assess what we are supposed to assess because we don't have a blueprint. Sometimes we have objectives, we have assessment, but we are not teaching, and this is just the teacher did not do his job right by teaching the students what they are supposed to teach. And this may be no teaching, but there is learning. If you direct them to learn, no problem. If it is part of the objective and you tell them that it is going to appear in the exams, then there is no problem. You will ask them to study them on their own, and this is called directed self-learning. And this is a manageable problem. But sometimes we have something which is not in the objectives and which is not taught, and it appears in assessment, and this is one of the biggest problems, because some of us, without intention, they bring some questions because of their interest or because they inherited them from somewhere, and this is unfair, completely unfair, if it is not part of the objectives and it is not part of the teaching. And this is very much in relation to alignment and content validity. This is the area in the middle is the excellent one. The objectives are taught and then they are assessed, and this area is a good area. Now, this is why. Now, how to prepare a blueprint? How do we do it? Of course, as I mentioned earlier, there is a course blueprint and there is a test blueprint. To prepare a course blueprint, to determine the instruments that will be used for each theme, topic, activity, or objective. It depends on what are you going to use. Are you going to make to choose instruments for themes, or instruments for topics, or instruments for activities, which is lectures, practical sessions, tutorials, etc. Or you are going to use objectives for blueprinting. It depends on your culture. And for this, to ensure face validity, fitness for purpose, you choose the instrument which is right for the theme, topic, activity, or objective. And then to determine the content, which are the themes, topic, activities, or objectives for each instrument. Because you will have a list of instruments in the table, and then you will tick against each of the themes, topics, activities, or objectives, and then you will know that what you ticked against MCQs, this is going to determine the content of the MCQs. Now, you bring together a group of content experts and process experts and ensure that a list of properly weighted content items, which are themes, topics, activities, or objectives, is ready. So you bring them the list of weighted content. Then a decision on which type of content items that will be used should be established. And then, by this I mean, are you going to use activities or objectives or topics or themes? And then a decision on which assessment tool that will be used should be established and decided. And then you produce a grid with the content items on an axis and the tools in the other. If we can continue with the process, the experts should then go through the content items and select the instruments which is or are valid, fit for purpose for the item. The final grid should be reviewed to ensure that the number for each assessment tool is satisfactory, and a tool can be deleted if there are no questions or no content for it, or if there is content and the list of tools you prepare to start with is not adequate, you can add new tools for that purpose. Now the experts could produce a separate grid for each domain of learning. And by that I mean a grid for knowledge, a grid for skills, and a grid for attitudes. And this is title. This is a content items, content item number 1, whether this content item is a theme, a topic, an activity, or an objective. And then we have a list of assessment of achievement, continuous or written in Spotter. And then we have assessment of performance and professionalism together, mini CEX, DOPS, CBD, portfolio, OSCE. And then you go through the items. You select, for example, item 1. Then you decided, are you going to use assessment, continuous assessment? You put it there. And then you put the written. And by assessment here, we mean assessment during learning, assessment of seminars, assessment of tutorials. And then written, whether it's written constructed response or selected response or whatever, and then a spotter, and so on. So for one item you can select 3 or 4 different tools, and then you go and select for topic 2, item 2, until you finish, and then you will look what are the topics that are going to be assessed through continuous assessment, what are the topics or activities that are going to be assessed by written exams, and so on. And this is called a course blueprint. This is an example. If you can see, these are the topics. They are putting topics there, and they're putting different types of assessment instruments or tools. They are putting simulation, they are putting paper-based test, patient opinion, etc. And then they are just making a dot against the topic, against the tool which is most suitable for that topic. Another example is done like this. This is the domain of assessment, providing good clinical care. And then we have DOPS, we have anesthesia, CEX, we have CBD, MSF, multi-source feedback, and then other exams. and so on. You go ahead and click for each of the items, and so on. This is another example. This is using learning outcomes. And then this one is learning outcomes. This is a magnification of the previous one. This one is the skills. An assessment is here, and this is a larger grid. This is called table of specifications because it doesn't only include the assessment, but it also includes how they are developed and the opportunity to practice. So as you can see, there are different forms of grids used for blueprinting, depending on your directions, what you prefer, and your preferences. When we come to test blueprints, for example, what do we mean by test? If I have a test which is an OSCE, or a test which is a written exam, or an MCQ-based written exam, then I can produce a test blueprint similarly. So it determines the distribution of items in a test and their number for each content component. And these contents can be themes, topics, activities, or objectives. And to ensure content validity, appropriateness, both appropriateness and balance. Now the process is done like similar to that one. A group of content and process experts ensure that a list of properly weighted content items for each test is ready. And then a decision on which type of content items that will be used should be established. Then a decision on which assessment tool that will be used should be established. And the grid is then prepared with the content items on an axis and the type and number of questions on the other. Now, the experts should then go through the content items and decide on the type and number of test items. This should be based on the weight of each content item. And weight is determined by the importance of the content item and number of learning activities. And this is how you determine the weight, and a group of content and process experts should do that. Now, the final grid should be reviewed to ensure that the test will be appropriate and balanced. And this is another exam, but this is a written test blueprint. Has got two components, MCQs and short answers. The recall type of questions and comprehension and application, and the short answer and fill in the blank and short notes. Then you go through the items. Item 2, I am going to put here 3 questions on recall, 1 question comprehension, and 1 application, and so on. So you produce a written test blueprint. And also this is another one for cardiovascular, but here instead of saying item 1, item 2, item 3, I will say anatomy, and I'm going to use recall questions and comprehension questions, etc. And this is another one, similarly, but introduction, the heart, this is using themes rather than subjects. This is another one, but dividing them into HM, mechanism, diagnosis, management, and so on. And this is health maintenance. This is another one. This is the content, and these are the knowledge, understanding, application, and these are the skills and the total numbers at the end. So there are various types of tables used for blueprinting. For example, this one is for the OSCE. You list the content items here, and then these are the different competencies tested by the OSCE, and then you distribute the stations in the blueprint. This is another one for an OSCE blueprint, but instead of putting what type of question, you will put this is another type of blueprint, what sort of clinical condition. And this is another one, this is filled. That one was just a template, and this one is filled, and this is obstetrics and gynecology, infertility. The weight is 10%. Two of them, two questions because only 10%, and we have 20 stations. And then there is one on history taking and one in identification of test items, and so on. This is another one, stations list for the OSCE of the blueprint. and then you take a test map and arrange the stations accordingly. And thank you very much.